Zinedine Zidane has won or remains the only manager in the history of the UEFA Champions League to have won it 3 times on the bounce. So he did it with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, and then also Karim Benzema. If you remember the year or the 3 years they won it back to back to back to back. Now he came back again and have managed to win the league for them as well as other accolades. But then he couldn't also be maintained because Real Madrid is a club of so many standards. Xabi Alonso became the 7th man to have played and then coached Real Madrid. So this is the job that Xabi Alonso has been tasked to do. So he's been tasked to just, bring the team together. And we all know what Real Madrid is about, to win trophies. So if he's not able to win the trophies, then definitely he's going to get sacked. So finally, Real Madrid has announced that Xabi Alonso will be their new manager. So the former Liverpool and then Real Madrid man or player has now confirmed that he has joined the Los Blancos and he'll be spending 3 years as per the contract he signed. So he also becomes just the 7th Real Madrid player or the 7th person to have played for Real Madrid and then also ended up coaching them. So there's a long list of players who have played for Real Madrid and then ended up coaching the team at the end of their playing career. Julian Lopetegui is one. Solari is also one of them. And not just him, but then Santiago Bernabéu, another player who has played Real Madrid and then ended up coaching the team. Zinedine Zidane in recent times, and then also Vicente Del Bosque. So these are players who ended up playing, or these are managers who ended up playing and then also managing the club at some point in their managing career. And this time, it's Xabi Alonso who has a huge task of succeeding one of the most accomplished, and revered coaches in the history of the game. That's Don Carlo. So we all know what Don Carlo did for Real Madrid across 2 spells. He came in the first time, he did so well for them, and then he came back again, won multiple UEFA Champions League titles with them. But then unfortunately, Real Madrid could only finish the 2024-2025 season without a single trophy, and that was the first time since 2021 that has occurred to the Los Blancos. So UEFA Champions League trophy eluded them. There was no LaLiga for them after Barcelona were crowned champions, and then also they lost to Barcelona again in the Copa del Rey final. So this is the job that Xabi Alonso has been tasked to do. So he's been tasked to just bring the team together, and we all know what Real Madrid is about, to win trophies. So if he's not able to win the trophies, then definitely he's going to get sacked. But then let's also just go back in time and look at some of the former players that ended up coaching Real Madrid and ended up leaving a mark over there. So Vicente Del Bosque is one of the most recent, managers we could talk about. So he played Real Madrid in the 1960s. He took over at Real Madrid in 1993. He came back later in 94, and then he went and came back later in the 99-2000 season, all the way to the 2003-2004 season. So Del Bosque also won multiple UEFA Champions League titles with the Madrid club, but then also later he got sacked before later on in his career he joined Spain as a head coach and led them to their first ever World Cup triumph in South Africa 2010. Now, one former player who has also done so well for Real Madrid, after playing for the club, was Zinedine Zidane. He's also one of the most accomplished managers we've ever seen in the history of the UEFA Champions League. So need I remind you that Zinedine Zidane has won or remains the only manager in the history of the UEFA Champions League to have won it 3 times on the bounce. So he did it with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, and then also Karim Benzema. If you remember the year or the 3 years they won it back to back to back to back. Now he came back again, and after 2 years he managed to win the league for them as well as other accolades. But then he couldn't also be maintained because Real Madrid is a club of so many standards, quite some high standards. So once you're at Real Madrid, you make sure that at least win every season, you end up with either the league or the UEFA Champions League, because those are the trophies that these fans want to see. Now, also came Solari, who was just there as a permanent coach, as a temporary coach, if I should put it. So he didn't come there on a permanent basis after Real Madrid had some issues to sort, at that level, at the technical level. So Solari also took over, but then he wasn't even allowed to last for more than 2 months before, he quit as head coach. Lopetegui also came in from Sevilla, but he couldn't really get them, to the success they attained under Del Bosque and then also Zinedine Zidane. So Xabi Alonso became the 7th man to have played and then coached Real Madrid once he takes over at the FIFA Club World Cup. That is set to happen in the USA later in June. But then the question that we are asking, that after bringing in Bournemouth Player of the Season and Spaniard youngster Dean Hussein, definitely Real Madrid could end up tying down Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is also signing for them on a free after his contract with Liverpool expired. So Dean Hussein, a very rock-solid centre-back, and then also one of the best right-backs we've seen in his generation. That's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Definitely with the help of Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vini Jr., Kylian Mbappe, Fede Valverde, that is quite a rich squad you could ever hand over to a manager to work with. Xabi Alonso understands the quality of this Real Madrid team, and definitely you'll be hoping that he could get the best out of them. But the question still remains that looking at the height, Del Bosque and even Zinedine Zidane, as former Real Madrid players, were able to take this team, do you think Xabi Alonso, after his recent heroics and triumph in the Bundesliga with Bayer Leverkusen, he has what it takes to lead this Real Madrid team? And another question, genuinely, that the fans are asking is that, Xabi Alonso is a man who always loves to play with a 3-back system. We've seen him flourish with that, and we've seen him become successful with that, nearly completing the historic treble for Bayer Leverkusen a couple of years ago. But unfortunately, they lost in the UEFA Europa League final to Atlanta. Do you think with what he's seen and the kind of experience he has, then Xabi Alonso could end up even succeeding at Real Madrid with a 3-back system? So the fans, it's been the talking point amongst the Real Madrid fans, asking questions like, okay, we've seen former players turn managers at Real Madrid and they've been able to deliver huge trophies. Now, Xabi Alonso now has the onus on him. Can he go on to succeed at Real Madrid with a 3-back system, something they've not played in a long time? Maybe perhaps under Mourinho, but that wasn't even consistent. Or can he also end up replicating the huge success of former players like Zinedine Zidane or even Vicente Del Bosque?